We're studying tonight the topic of happy hormones, or how to increase your dopamine and your serotonin levels, your oxytocin and endorphins. All right, so we have your endorphins, which primarily helps one deal with stress and reduce the feelings of pain. We have the serotonin, which is a mood stabilizer or well-being and happiness. Dopamine, pleasure, motivational role in brain's reward system. And oxytocin, which is our bonding hormone, love and trust. And the hypothalamus is the one that controls the pituitary, which releases these happy hormones. So if our pituitary or our hypothalamus is not working right, then we could be in some serious depression or anger or emotional problems. And it's not always the devil. It can be very much our bodies. And we like to blame things on the devil, but God has told us that these 8 laws of health that he has given us not only helps us with our bodies, but our minds and our spirit. So we're going to find out, these are what is going to help us the most, is these 8 laws of health. So how do we know if our hypothalamus is damaged? These are some of the symptoms. We could have fatigue, weakness, poor appetite, weight loss or weight gain, because it does control somewhat the thyroid too, and lack of interest in activities. And of course, we're going to have emotional problems. Can hypothalamus regenerate? So we're going to find this out. It says you can naturally lose brain cells with age. Certain regions of the brain have cells called neural stem cells that can regenerate. They have only been found in a few brain regions, including the hypothalamus. Fasting, and we studied HIIT, that the stem cells were stimulated to grow by doing those 2 things particularly. Okay, all right. We only recently discovered that the pituitary gland contains stem cells. To determine the function of these stem cells, we eliminate the growth hormone producing cells in the pituitary gland of mice. The stem cells respond very actively and quickly. They multiply themselves and regenerate a substantial number of the eliminated cells. We observed the same effect for another hormone, prolactin, which stimulates the production of breast milk. So the adult pituitary shows stem progenitor cell activation in response to injury and is capable of regeneration. So what increases the stem cell or regeneration? 8 ways to promote stem cell proliferation. Now I put down here, number 1, water fasting. Number 2, HIIT. Because as we studied, those both do the same thing in taking out bad proteins and using them and making good proteins, and doing autophagy in the body, where your body will eat out molds. And then if you go into the 3rd day of the water fasting, especially, it does this stem cell regeneration. So a 3-day water fast is really, really important. And I was going to tell anybody that wants to do a 3-day water fast with me, I would love to have you come and join me. I'm actually going to do one next weekend, more towards the first of the week than the whole weekend, starting Saturday morning. I'm going to eat breakfast, and I'm going to go till Tuesday morning, which will be like a 71-hour fast. So if anyone wants to come to Florida and do that with me, so you can join me. Okay, intermittent fasting will do this stem cell proliferation, and caloric restriction increases stem cell proliferation. Now, of course, we had already talked about intermittent fasting, what that is. And so if you want to go back to the previous Zoom classes, go to simplypurehealing.com. It's written there on the page, and go to the health videos and look at the previous Zoom classes. And of course, the intermittent fasting is where you eat in a window of like 7 hours, like we eat at 7:30 in the morning, might have some juice like an hour before lunch. And then I eat at 1:30, and then you don't eat again till 7:30 in the morning, 2 meals per day. That really helps with keeping your body from getting cancer, because cancer comes from damaged stem cells. Okay, so another way of doing it is reduce your triglycerides. That means stay away from refined products, especially oils, and exercise. Even if, you know, if it's not even HIIT, exercise still will boost the stem cell activity. The HIIT will do it greater. And of course, I have a whole video on the HIIT that you can see. Eliminate sugar consumption, which is another refined product. Support healthy inflammation pathways. It means stay away from omega-6 concentration. That's all your other oils besides hemp, chia, flax, and walnuts. All your other vegetable oils are going to be high in omega-6, which will cause inflammation. You want to eliminate your alcohol consumption also. Okay, so more ways to boost these happy hormones. Some hydrotherapy, hot and cold baths, or showers. And in the North American Journal of Medical Science, it says cold exposure, or CE, to small surface areas produced compensatory vasodilation in deeper vascular system, resulting increased blood flow to the tissue underlying the site of exposure. This vascular reaction occurs mainly to maintain constant deep tissue temperature. We're told in many books, says perfect circulation is perfect health. And getting this circulation in is going to stimulate any kind of healing, because your body was made to heal itself if we give it everything that it needs. And here's a quote from Counsels to the Church, page 219. It says, most persons would receive benefit from a cool or tepid bath every day, morning or evening. Instead of increasing the liability to take cold, a bath properly taken fortifies against cold because it improves the circulation. The blood is brought to the surface and more easily and regular flow is obtained. The mind and the body are alike invigorated. The muscles become more flexible. The intellect is made brighter. The bath is a soother of the nerves. Bathing helps the bowels, the stomach, and the liver, giving health and energy to each, and it promotes digestion. So here we have a cool bath. Now, back in the days that this was written, they did not use showers. They had tubs, and it would probably be good just to fill up a tub and dunk in. Some people like to take their baths in the morning, some in the evening. So a cool bath. And when I visited in Peru and Dominican Republic and many other countries, they don't even have hot water. So you get this automatically. Of course, a lot of them don't take a lot of showers, but I still did my daily bath in cold water. Okay, more from the North American Journal of Medical Science. It says regular winter swimming significantly decreased tension, fatigue, memory problems, and mood. Negative state points with the duration of swimming period. Significantly increased vigor activity scores, relieved pain who suffered from rheumatism, fibromyalgia, or asthma, and improved general well-being in swimmers. Okay, so I know somebody that goes to the river and swims no matter what time of year it is. And now that's cold water. Okay, another way to promote your happy hormones is acts of kindness. And Dr. Ishak says studies have also linked random acts of kindness to releasing dopamine, a chemical messenger in the brain that gives us a feeling of euphoria. This feel-good brain chemical is credited with causing what is known as a helper's high. In addition to boosting oxytocin and dopamine, being kind also increases serotonin, a neurotransmitter that helps regulate mood. So, kindness, saying kind things, doing kind acts. This will be something that is like a merry heart that doeth good like a medicine. All right. Christian Temperance and Bible Hygiene, page 13, says the relation which exists between the mind and the body is very intimate. When one is affected, the other sympathizes. The condition of the mind affects the health of the physical system. If the mind is free and happy from a consciousness of right doing and a sense of satisfaction in causing happiness to others, it creates a cheerfulness that will react upon the whole system, causing a freer circulation of the blood and a toning up of the entire body. The blessing of God is a healing power, and those who are abundant in benefiting others will realize that wondrous blessing in both heart and life. And it's a really wonderful experience for children to grow up in a home where the parents, they see the parents doing acts of kindness, and the parents are encouraging them to make cookies and give them to the neighbors and do all these kinds of things. And it is so good for them. I want to encourage every family to have their children do this. Also, in the chapter in Isaiah 58 is a wonderful chapter. We can start with verse 1. Talks about how our health will improve when we do these acts of kindness. Says, or even have loving people enough to share that they need help, to let them know. Sometimes we just say, oh, it's not my business. I don't care what they do. But if we love them and if we're kind enough to warn them, that is an act of kindness also. It says, cry aloud, spare not, lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. Yet they seek me daily, and delight to know my ways, as a nation that did righteousness, and forsook not the ordinance of their God. They ask of me the ordinance of justice. They take delight in approaching to God. Wherefore have we fasted, say they, and thou seest not? Wherefore have we afflicted our soul, and thou takest no knowledge? Behold, in the day of your fast ye find pleasure, and exact all your labors. Behold, you fast for strife and debate, and to smite with the fist of wickedness. Ye shall not fast as ye do this day, to make your voice to be heard on high. Is it such a fast that I have chosen, a day for a man to afflict his soul? Is it to bow down his head as a bulrush, and to spread sackcloth and ashes under him? Wilt thou call this a fast, and an acceptable day to the Lord? Is not this the fast that I have chosen, to loose the bands of wickedness, to undo the heavy burdens, and to let the oppressed go free, and that ye break every yoke? Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry, and that thou bring the poor that are cast out to thy house? When thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thine own flesh. Then shall thy light break forth as the morning, and thine health shall spring forth speedily, and thy righteousness shall go before thee. The glory of the Lord shall be thy rearward. Then shalt thou call, and the Lord shall answer. Thou shalt cry, and he shall say, Here I am. If thou take away from the midst of thee the yoke, the putting forth of the finger, and speaking vanity, and if thou draw out thy soul to the hungry, and satisfy the afflicted soul, then shall thy light rise in obscurity, and thy darkness be as the noonday, and the Lord shall guide thee continually and satisfy thy soul in drought and make fat thy bones. That's what we need. We need strong bones. And thou shalt be like a watered garden and like a spring of water whose waters fail not. And they that shall be of thee shall build the old waste places. Thou shalt rise up the foundation of many generations. Thou shalt be called the repairer of the breach, the restorer of paths to dwell in. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shalt honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words, then shalt thou delight thyself in the Lord, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of the Lord hath spoken it. So God wanted us to know that this chapter wasn't just from Isaiah. This was the mouth of the Lord has given us this. It's such a full chapter of instruction. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing, and I would like to know if there is anyone on that has a testimony of what the Lord has done for them in their health, or that they've learned that they would like to share. And I would like you to think about this for next week, because it's nice to hear from other people. So how's your... Yes.
This is Susan here.
Oh, hi, Susan. Sister Susan.
Yes. Well, I've just recovered from a bad dose of COVID.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
But I thank the Lord for all the therapies that we did. We did infrared saunas every day, colonics every other day, hot and cold showers, hot baths, cold showers. Huge blessing for onion poultices. Yeah, we did the lot. We did it every day for like 2 weeks, and I believe that is a big must when you're sick or when you get something serious like COVID.
Mm-hmm. Don't just lay back and lay in bed all day, because that's dangerous too. You need to sit up and do all these things.
Yep, especially deep breathing. Yes. Going outside, getting oxygen in you. My oxygen level went down a little bit, but it went up as soon as I went outside. And all the herbal teas and juices and everything that you know is right. Just give your body a chance to recover. So did your husband get it too? Yeah, he got it first. That's the way it was with Les and I. Yeah, he got it first, knocked him down pretty hard, and then I got it, and I thought I was going to sail through, but it kind of knocked me down a bit for a few days. Mm-hmm. Is that the first time? Yes. Mm. You're immune for a while. We were exposed many times, but even at camp meeting we were exposed, but we were kind of in the sunshine a lot, so I think that helped.